Hello, my name is Oneida, and welcome back to the Dark Side of Astrology channel. Today, I will talk about twin souls and marriage. This is a question that often gets brought up to me when I do readings for clients, and people that I guide, whether or not they will marry their twin soul. I understand that this is important for a lot of people because this is what society has programmed into our minds, that marriage is the end goal to everything. And if you're not thinking about marriage, especially for women, if you're not thinking about marriage or don't get married by a certain age, then you're not a happy person. That's I have my qualms with marriage. I've gotten better. I do believe that people shouldn't really always just focus on that of having to be married by a certain age, you know being afraid of remaining single for the rest of your life. These are things that people really do think about, and it worries a lot of people, and I definitely understand that. But the first most important thing as a twin soul that you have to understand and come to terms with is that you're already married to your twin soul. You're married in the eyes of God. This is a spiritual relationship more than anything else. You were created at the same time. You have the same energy signature, and you share your soul with your counterpart. So technically speaking, you're already married to your twin soul in God's eyes and in 5D. Now, being that we're still very much in 3D and living in a 3D world, even though, a lot of us are in 4D since, we've been awakening, walking the path, practicing our spirituality, or at least doing our best to practice our spirituality. It's important to remember that you're learning unconditional love in the 3D world, and you're teaching others about unconditional love in the 3D world. So again, I understand the importance of this question. And the best thing that I always say to my clients and to those that I guide is don't obsess over that. Do your best to just be happy in the place that you're at now, even if you're not speaking with your twin soul. Again, a lot of people aren't. They're not. They're in a time of silence right now. The energy is shifting, very dramatically, especially now that we have started Leo time. So, just be careful with the energy, with all the drama that's going on and stuff like that. Uh, you know, just do your best to try to just always remain hopeful, because that is key for the twin soul path, is always to be hopeful and keep that dream alive. As far as the marriage is concerned, just know that that's not really the end goal. The end goal really should be one of thinking about unity, and how you're going to try to make things better for you and your twin and things of that nature. In my last video, I talked about silence between twin souls and working on your chakras, because to me it's very important that you do. If you start working with your chakras, I think people would be better able to handle all the stuff that goes on the path of the twin souls, because it's very different than that of a karmatic mate or a soulmate. That's the other thing too. A lot of people are confusing the soulmates and karmatic mates and twin flames and all these things, and kind of like making twin souls. Like, some people believe in the fake twin soul, and I don't believe in that. To me, that's more karmatic. It's definitely your karmatic mate, and you're learning with your karmatic mate, and you're, clearing karma. you see, with my karmatic mate, the one thing that I learned was that I do, in fact, want to be married later on in life, not right now. Uh, he taught me a lot of things, and one of them was that of marriage. Um, I've been propositioned by two men that I was with in long-term relationships about marriage, and we used to talk about it, but it was never really something that I wanted or ever thought of. Growing up, I didn't think about that. I really always did want to be a mother, and I'm happy that I am. I love, my daughter is amazing. But it was never really something that I did as a child growing up, thinking about marriage and all these things. I did know, what my husband would look like. As a child, I did know I was a twin soul. I used to say that I had a twin out there, but I always thought it was a woman that looked like me. Never occurred to me that it could be a man. Uh, but I never really thought of marriage. And to me, marriage was not the end goal in my life. I wanted other things in life, like not just being married. And it's hard, especially for women, to not obsess about these things, about getting married, about finding the right man, finding that perfect dress, planning that perfect wedding, planning that perfect honeymoon, and all those things that come with marriage. And I'm doing my best to not be so cynical, I guess, when it comes to marriage. But to me, marriage is a very sacred thing that God completely demolished, throughout centuries, especially here in the United States. People rush to get married, and they have expensive weddings that are so outlandish, and they don't even like get like some of their money back. They might not get like that ultimate honeymoon because they're planning their wedding instead and spending all their money on weddings and stuff of that nature. Like engagement rings just are so expensive, and women always want like the best diamond and all this other stuff. But meanwhile, back in the day, you didn't get a diamond. You either got an emerald or a sapphire or a beautiful ruby, things of that type of, those type of gems. It's rare now to find those things, and if you do find them, they're under like antiques and stuff like that. I do look at engagement rings. I've even tried making an engagement ring on sales. But again, to me, marriage is really shouldn't be something that everyone obsess over. If it is something that you do think about a lot, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but you should know that, being on the twin soul path, marriage is really a very different type of thing, because of the fact that you are already spiritually married to your twin soul. You're connected. You're always connected. Try as you might to disconnect, you're always connected. The cord is there. Everyone knows about the cord. There's different myths about the cord in different cultures. Everyone knows about it. The Greeks talked about it too, with the fates and stuff like that. I think it's in Asia where they know about the red string, and that's how they feel people are connected with that red string. And things of that, things of that type of nature. You're always connected with your twin. So to really obsess over the fact of whether or not you're going to get married with your twin or when you're going to marry your twin really should not be such an important aspect of your relationship with your twin, because that is another thing. You are in a relationship already. You're in this relationship with your twin. You might not be physically together, but you're relating to your twin, because it's in the word relationship. You're relating to your twin, and and they're relating to you. So again, to me, marriage is just something that yes, it should be in the back of your mind, but it really shouldn't be the only thing you think about. Think about, what you're going to do in life with your twin, perhaps how you're going to start that communication with your twin, trying to fix yourself and work on yourself and always staying in faith and trusting in God, because that's another thing too. Some people, I don't know why some people think that God would be cruel and the universe would be cruel to you with placing fake twins and things like that in our paths, and when they're really not. They're just karmatic mates that are teaching you lessons that you have to learn. And I guess it's hard for some people to accept that that's what it is, and I understand. I definitely get it. Everyone is comfortable, in believing the things that they want to believe, and it's fine. But at the end of the day, you got to be careful with what you're believing and what you're reading. And if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's really how intuition works too, is, what do you intuitively feel? What do you intuitively trust? But at the end of the day, marriage really shouldn't be one of the most important things on this path. The most important thing is to love yourself and to be patient with yourself and to just be patient on the path. It's all about patience and understanding, and and again, trying to relate with your twin, even though it's hard to do that when you're not on speaking terms. But you'll get to that point where you will start speaking again. There's a lot of things being said right now that, contact and all these things will start happening sometime next month in August. It's just to remain hopeful, remain optimistic, keep creating, keep working on yourself, and just know that spiritually speaking, you are already married to your twin soul, because you were created at the same time. And God is not cruel. If you're meant to marry your twin soul in this lifetime, it's gonna happen. But try to just be more hopeful when it comes to making that contact and speaking with your twin, and and working towards union, because remember, marriage is just that. It's a union. So you're already united, and spiritually speaking, with God. But still being on the 3D, I understand that this is important to people, but just know that it's not the ultimate goal. It's really not. And try to be at peace with yourself, with your twin, and with God. And just know that the obstacles that you are facing right now on the path is to clear them, to conquer them, to understand them, and to conquer this aspect of yourself, and to really just purge and just go through these changes before you can unify with your twin. I know it's a very hard path, but we make it hard. And we got to remember, we are the creators, and we're creating this. And the harder you create things, the harder it's going to be. So hopefully you and your twin are aligning and creating a more positive walk on your path to union, and you'll get there quicker. It's the best thing, and the best advice I could give to those on the path is change your thought patterns, be more positive, try to be less obsessive, trust, and above all, know that you and your twin are already married. And I will emphasize that you are married spiritually, because you were created as one, and you will be one again. And if you marry your twin, that's awesome. Go create that beautiful wedding that you've always imagined. But be patient, and keep walking that path, and remain hopeful and always in faith, and know that God is love, and that what you're returning to is love, is the ultimate love to have, because it's true love with you and your twin. You're both loving each other, and there's nothing better than that or more beautiful than that is being with your true love. Namaste.